Hello everyone, and welcome to this professional development session on making video tutorials. Now the reason why this is an effective strategy is because we are limited in the amount of live sessions that we have with students due to the limitations imposed upon us by this quarantine. So video tutorials can be an effective way of providing your students with either pre-recorded classes or explanations of particular concepts, or in my class, for example, I use it to provide them with the presentations that I would normally give them in class. So this session is going to be broken down into a couple different parts. You'll notice that in the form that you've received, I have a couple of resources here to help you out, both in completing this, but then also beyond this session for use in your classes. First, I'm going to be going through how to make a video, and the application that I'm going to use is one that I've already made a tutorial on and shared with many of you, but I believe it is both the most effective, but also an application that works on any platform that you might have. So we're going to start with making a video in OBS Studio. Then I'm going to show you how to edit that video using Windows Movie Maker, but Windows Movie Maker is only available on Windows, so if you have a Mac, you can use iMovie or an application that came with your computer. Then I'm going to show you how to upload that video that you've created to YouTube, and then how to share that video via Google Classroom. So the first thing that we need to do is make our video. Now, the software that I'm going to use is called OBS Studio. If you go to Google and you put in OBS Studio, it is the first link there. And if I click on that link, I'm going to be sent to this website. And you'll see I have an option for Windows, for Mac, and for Linux. So it'll work on any platform that you might have. But I'm using Windows, and so once I download this, it's going to ask me, I already have it downloaded, so I'm not going to do it right now. But once I download it, it's going to ask me if I'm going to be using this for screen recording, if I'm going to be using it for streaming. You want to say that you're using it for recording only. That just ensures that you're not overloaded with options that you're not going to need. So once I've downloaded this, I'm going to be presented with a application that looks like this. Now when you open this, this box down here is going to be empty, and you have to fill this out. So you can see that I've added audio input capture, display capture, and video capture. And you want to make sure that you have it in this order because it is layered. So to add these, I'm going to start with audio input and then add the other ones that I need. So I press add, and you'll see here that I have audio input. When I select that, I can choose, it'll just ask if it's okay, and you should only have one audio input on your computer, which is your microphone. So I select that, and then it will appear here. Then I'm going to have display capture, and when I click on that, it's going to ask me if I want to record my whole screen, and I press OK, and then it'll add that. And then for my video capture, which is right down here, I add that. I select my webcam, which is the only video capture device I should have on my computer, unless you're running another application. And so then I will add that. Once I have added those three things, you'll see that I can see myself here, and I can move this to whatever part of the screen I want it. And I can also make this bigger or smaller by expanding this or contracting this. And I can also add a couple cool filters. But now, with the display capture, whenever I move to a different screen on my computer, you can see that I'm there. When you're recording this, you're not going to see yourself, but it'll appear in the video afterwards. So be aware of where you've put yourself on that screen, because you might be blocking text that is there. So once I have this set up and I have my three things there, all I need to do on the right-hand side is press Start Recording, and you can actually set up shortcuts for this if you want to in Settings, but that's not necessary. So I can press Start Recording, and then I can go and do everything I need to do, or show the students. I could show them something in Classroom, I could show them a presentation, and then when I'm done, I could even show them a YouTube video if I wanted to through here. When I'm done, I press Stop Recording. And once I've done that, in my computer, if I go to my folder here, I have on the left-hand side videos, and it's going to show up here. And you can see a lot of videos here that I've recorded with OBS Studio in the past. One other thing you can do here that I mentioned in the OBS tutorial that I've done before is that I can add filters. So on my camera here, if I have myself selected and I right-click, I can press on Filters, and I have two filters here. I have Chroma Key and I have Crop/Pad. Crop/Pad just make sure that you're centered for wherever your camera is aimed. So in my case, I have a background that I'm using to get rid of my background, so you just see my body superimposed on the screen that I'm sharing. But the crop and pad just allows you to crop your image there. And if I were to click on that, you can see the values that I have here, that I'm cutting off some of the left side and some of the right side and some of the top, so that you can't see the stuff that's in the room that my background isn't covering. Then chroma key is what is allowing me to get rid of my background. If you have something that is blue, green, or magenta, or you can find your own color, you can put that in the background, and then using the similarity value here, I can move this back or forth, and you can see the background that I have, which is blue, which is why I have this set up as blue. And that allows me to get rid of my background if I want to for my videos. And I have found the effective value for me for this video to be around there, 252, but it depends on your lighting and it depends on your background. So that's all you need to do. Once you've set this up, you've added your 3 things, you just press start recording, and then you can go and record your whatever you want to show your students, and then press stop recording. The next thing that we need to do is edit the video that we just created. So you'll notice in the resources I put in the form, I have this Windows Movie Maker application. If you click on this link and you have a Windows or a computer that's running on Windows, you can download this application installer that I have, and you can use the editor that I use. It's a simple editor, but it gets pretty much everything that you need done for your videos, especially for the most simplistic things. So if you click on this, you'll be able to download that. But once I've downloaded that, if I look on my desktop, it's right here. It looks like this. And once I've opened that application, you'll see that it's blank here, but this is where I do my movie editing. If I click on add videos or photos up here in this button, then I can find the video that I just created. So this is the video that I created earlier for making this tutorial. And if I open that video, it's going to take a little bit, but you'll see that right now I have the whole video right here. And if I want to, I can zoom in or out to make it easier for me to see what's happening in the video. But you can see here that I have this beginning period of time where I'm not talking. And so if I want to edit this, I just need to move the slider to where I see that first audio starting. Every one of these peaks that you see in the audio here is me talking. So I can move this right here to where I start talking, and for you it might be where you're navigating to whatever you need to show the students. I click on Video Tools up here, I press Edit, and I press Split. And when I've done that, now I can see that I've gotten rid of that beginning part of the video where I wasn't talking. Then I can right click on that, and I can remove it. Then on the end of the video, I can do the exact same thing. I can move my slider there, I can press split, and I can get rid of the end of the video. And if you made a mistake in your video, what I like to do is just pause and not talk, collect my thoughts, and then continue. And the reason why I do that is because what you'll see when you come to edit your video is you'll see a gap where you're not talking. Now, that didn't happen to me during this video, but if it had, let's say there was a gap here, I can click, let's say there's a gap right here that I wanted to get rid of. I can click on the front side of the gap, press split, go to the back side of the gap, press split again, and I can remove that section in the same way. And when I do that, the video will be seamless from that point. Then one other thing I can do if you want to is I can edit the volume of the video for either one of these parts, which you probably aren't going to need to do unless you're adding music. But I can modify the volume of that video to make it louder or to make it more quiet. And lastly, one thing that I can do is from the home button here, you see this thing that says add music. Now, I like to add music to my videos just for some ambiance. I do it for my students, and I've done it for some of my tutorials. But you have to download music to your computer, which there are free applications to do that. But if I do that and I press add music, I have a couple different files here that I normally use. And if I add that, I'm going to need to adjust this volume so that it's not too loud, because it tends to be very loud and it washes out your speech when you're talking. So I have to reduce the volume of that, but once I've done that, you're going to be able to hear me talking and you're going to hear the music in the background. Strategy is because we are limited in the amount of live sessions that we are allowed to, that we have with students due to the limitations imposed. So you can see that I have the music in the background there as well. And for some of your classes, this might be a nice thing to do to increase engagement or to make your videos a little bit more user-friendly. And just like with the videos in the music tools up here, I have the option to split my music if I want to, and to cut out sections of the music that I don't want. If I were to press split, I can do the same thing and remove, didn't mean to do that, and remove sections of that music. When you are done editing your video, you want to press File, Save Movie, and you want to save it for a high definition display. Now OBS is going to be recording in the highest definition it can from a default position. You may need to lower that depending on where your computer's capabilities are, but I want to say this is a high definition display. I want to put whatever title I want from a movie so I can recognize it and find it, and I want to save that on my desktop. And that's going to make it easier for the next step when I upload this video to YouTube. Now the next thing that I need to do is upload the video that I've just edited and have now downloaded to my desktop to YouTube. So in order to do that, I go to youtube.com. I want to make sure I'm signed in with my school Google account, which Google owns YouTube, so you're already going to have an account here. Once I'm signed in, there's this button up here that says Create. I can also just go to the YouTube Studio, which is where this is going to send me anyway. But this will put me right to uploading a video if I want that. So if I were to click on this video, which says Create, it says Upload Video or Go Live. So if I press Upload Video, it's going to send me to the YouTube Studio, and it's going to give me this option to upload video. So I press Select File. I find the video that I want to download from my desktop. So I'm going to choose a video that I've already done. So I have some class videos here. And if I were to select on one of these and open this, once it starts uploading, I can modify a couple things here. So if I have playlists set up on my computer, I can add a new playlist if I want to, but I can put playlists here to organize the videos that I'm uploading. And so the only videos that I have public are the tutorials that I've provided you guys with. But I can create a new playlist and I can add my videos there if I want to. Now, some of the important things to do here, where it says yes, it's made for kids, or no, it's not made for kids, what essentially this does is it shuts off the comment section. So if you're giving something to students, I'd recommend you say, yes, it's made for kids. That's going to shut off their ability to comment on your video. The next thing, you don't need to worry about any of the other options here. The next thing that you can do is go to Visibility. Don't worry about video elements. I want to press Unlisted unless you want this to be public. If it's unlisted, then only people with that link can see your video. So your students, for example, couldn't just search for your video, or anybody couldn't just search for your video on YouTube. They're only going to be able to go through the link, which you can post in Classroom. Now, one other thing, if your video is longer than 10 minutes, you're going to need to verify your YouTube account. And once you've done that, you can upload videos of any length and be infinitely long. So if I want to verify my YouTube account, it takes like 5 minutes. Just Google verify YouTube account. It's going to be this link right here. And if I were to click on this link, then it's going to send me to this page. And I can press right here where it says verify your channel. And when I click on that, it's just going to have me put in my phone number. They're going to send me a text to make sure that I'm not a bot. And once you've done that, your channel will be verified. And if I were to click on this, it's going to say that I'm already verified, because I've already done that. But once you've been verified, you can upload videos of any length that you want. So once I've uploaded this, if I go to my videos, you can see all the videos that I've done. I've done a decent amount both for class and for tutorials. Once this is done, I'm going to cancel this upload. On the right-hand side of the video, there are these 3 little buttons. And if I click on one of these, the second option is Get Shareable Link. And if I click on this link, that is the link that I want to share through Google Classroom to share my videos with students. So now, if I go to Google Classroom, and I were to go to one of my classrooms, I can share that link as a part of a notification by clicking here, pressing Add, pressing Link, and putting the link that I just copied, and you'll see that it shows up right there. I can also do this as a part of an assignment. And so I've done that for a lot of my recent assignments. If I were to click on this, for example, you can see that I have the presentation, which is what I share in the video, at least the slides that are relevant for that day. and I have the assignment that I want them to do. And I explain both the relevant slides of the presentation and how to do the assessment that I'm expecting them to complete. And so for this assignment, what I did was I go to edit, press add, press link, and if I put in that link, you'll see that it shows up right down there. So at this point, I've shown you guys how to create a video using OBS Studio, how to edit that video using Windows Movie Maker, and how to upload that video to YouTube to then be shared through Google Classroom. So what I want you to do for the activity for this session is to create your own video explaining the same steps to me. So to create a tutorial video using OBS Studio where you're explaining how you're creating that video, how you're editing that video, and how you're uploading that video to YouTube. So essentially a copy of what I just did. You do not need to go into as much depth. It can be a very short video, but just so that I know that you guys understand how to go through each one of these steps one by one. And if you have an issue with any one of them, just reach out to me and we can work together to solve whatever issue that might be. When you are done, the same link that I used to share my video through Classroom, when I was showing you in the last section of this video, I want you to copy that link and paste it as an answer to this question in this form. And once you're done with that, let me know if you have any other questions, comments, or suggestions regarding any part of this process. And one other thing I've included up here, if the video that was a part of this session went too fast or didn't explain something more in depth and you want a more in-depth explanation, I've already made tutorials on each one of the tools that I have in here. And if you go to my YouTube channel and click on this playlist, I have full tutorials that go more in depth. And so that can be another resource if there's something that you didn't understand. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, and please let me know if you have any other questions.